Kev, thanks so much. Mike Reardon, the Executive Director of the Catholic Schools Foundation, joins us in studio now. Mike, it's always great to have you here.
Jay, I got to tell you, I think it's been a while because this studio is a lot different from my last invitation.
Well, I feel bad about that. We're going to get you back.
No, I always love coming here. You guys do such great work.
Thank you.
And, you know, I was with a colleague today, and she came into the studio. She's like, wow, this is a real operation. And I don't think people realize how many states and how many places you're really influencing and bringing the presence of Christ to so many who can't get out.
Well, we appreciate that, and I appreciate the kind words from Sam over there, too. Well, you talk about that. Look at the work you do. So the Catholic Schools Foundation, I've known about it, and a lot of people out there know about it, but I'm sure there's some around the country who haven't heard of it. Tell us, what is the Catholic Schools Foundation?
Real simple. We're really the endowment that was once the sisters and the brothers, right? So for years we were so fortunate. I know you went to a Severian Brothers school, I went to a Jesuit school, and one's better than the other, but we'll talk about that later, of course.
It's okay, it's okay.
But the truth is, so many students benefited from the free labor of those men and women, and it was heroic what they did. And with vocations down, these opportunities for kids are still there because of generous donors who provide resources for scholarships and are that new endowment for these young people that is really the legacy of the women and men who did that for so many years, giving their lives.
I have to tell you, so I've had two of my children. One went to Mount St. Charles Academy, which is a Catholic school. My youngest son now is going next year into Mount St. Charles Academy. And I have friends who are teachers, and they do such a wonderful job. But the environment in a Catholic school is just a little different. It's just the community is a little different, and I think it's because of a number of different things, but I think it's because of the faith life that you can bring into it. Why is it important that we afford that opportunity to young people to go to a Catholic school?
Well, I think we just have to look at our world right now, right, where we have the ability to have conversations and to understand that people are coming from a position of goodness, and that people may be different, but we're all brought here by the same God. Right? And that's such an important thing to remember. And I was with Cardinal Sean last Friday with some of our students, which I've never seen Cardinal Sean more energized around young people. And the story he told was being at the Holocaust Museum during the March for Life. And there was a letter there in the back. And what it talked about was the atrocities people saw. And it said, educating people isn't enough. Making them understand what it means to be human. And that's what they do at Catholic schools. We teach people that they're part of something larger than themselves, that they have an obligation to serve others, to be responsible citizens, and to be the leaders of our world and our church. And I think we've seen that is so important today.
Now, you talked, Mike, about the sacrifices that so many men and women had made, and we don't have that workforce per se anymore. So it's expensive. The teachers, a lot of them who are in these schools are working extremely hard, and they need to get paid, and we need the bills for the electricity, and you've got these students. So how does the Catholic School Foundation raise the funds to help all of these students?
You know what, we're very fortunate. We have corporate supporters and individual supporters, but we raise about $10 million a year.
$10 million a year?
$10 million a year. And I'll tell you, it's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy, but people are committed. And the quickest way to get someone to say, yes, I want to do that, is to have them meet the students. And we have an annual event every year. It's actually coming up on April 4th. And Jim Judge, the CEO of Eversource, is going to chair it, who's a product of Catholic schools. He went to St. Peter's in Dorchester and then Catholic Memorial with the Irish Christian Brothers. He's chairing it, and we're honoring a guy by the name of Dick Conley, who's been a great supporter of Catholic education, St. Charles and Woburn, Malden Catholic High School. So we've got our bases covered. But we'll have corporate support, we'll have individual support, and the corporate community sees the great good of Catholic education, not because it's Catholic, but because it's serving so many in places where we need the church to be. So it's a wonderful thing.
And what do you, so you raised $10 million, which is extraordinary. Not thrilled with the Malden Catholic CM because, of course, the Severian, you know, those are my rivals.
I understand.
But good for them.
Yes.
Good for them. So you raise the money, then what happens?
So there are about 4,000 students who directly receive scholarship support.
4,000, wow.
And those are 4,000's lives forever changed. And at our dinner this year, we have a young man from Lawrence, Julian Delgado. And if you go to our website, csfboston.org, into the media tab, you'll see a video of him when he was in 7th grade. And this was a kid, his mother's quoted as saying, "They told you were from Lawrence and you couldn't be anything." And now he's graduating from St. John's Prep. He has a full ride for college, and he's not going to just be transformed, but that family is transformed. And that's what happens with each of those 4,000 kids. But it can't happen without our supporters.
Now, how long have you done this now?
I'm on to a dozen years. And
Are you on to a dozen
I
years?
am. And, you know, I started out saying it was a 3 to 5 year situation. But I have to tell you, the work is too important. The people are so incredible. You talk about the teachers and the administrators.
Yeah.
They do the real work. They, you know, I get credit, but they do the real work. They're working with these kids and they're transforming their lives every day. And it's a privilege to be that conduit between the donors and these students and families.
It'd be easy to say every year, I'm sure, after the money is raised, you say, well, it's a success. But then we have to look at the year after. And so it's an ongoing, and the prices keep rising. Is that a struggle?
It's a real struggle, and we're trying to figure out how do we commit to that kid so that we can be with them from 3rd grade through 12th grade. And so we make a moral commitment to every student. So, Jay, if you start in 3rd grade, we say we're going to stay with you. I'll tell you, that puts a lot of pressure on our board and on me, because that's a real number. And if we don't raise those dollars, that kid can't go to that school.
And imagine that, going to a school and all of a sudden you can no longer go there.
Our average family income for a family of 4 is $44,000 a year.
Wow.
There's not a lot of stability or good news in these lives. They get these scholarships, they rejoice. This is something that they know. A Catholic education, and we know, we had it.
Right.
It changes your life. It gives you a different perspective, and it gives you not just the academic tools, but it gives you that sense of space in the world.
Where would someone write or find out information so that they can help out?
So the best place to go is to our website, which is csfboston.org, and you can contact me. I'm always welcome emails, phone calls. We have links where you can look at our information for videos and learn more about the kids. And you can also look at our financial information, because we think that's really important.
Transparency.
Yeah, we're a public charity, so we file with the Attorney General's office. You can look at our 990, you can look at our annual reports, and we want that scrutiny. We want people to say, Mike, are you making sure every dollar that you're entrusted with is helping the most kids? Because that's how we make sure we do it.
Well, there's that fiduciary responsibility,
Absolutely.
and you're certainly living up to it. Mike, as always, thank you so much for coming on today. We'll have to get you back before,
Before the next set change.
Yeah, we'll get you back on again.
Thanks
Always
for
a
having me,
pleasure.
Jay.